What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Shynin, and welcome to a conversation with the legends. I got legendary status, man. I'm as nervous as I could ever be right now, but this is gonna be dope. I got my homie right here, 2207, the illest, and the legendary Enfa Jones.
Pleasure.
Everybody's clapping. If you can't hear it, it's on you, baby. It's on you. It's on you. Yeah, man. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna have conversations, man. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be breaking down some history, a bit of history there and there. Yeah, let's kick it off like this. It's 50 years of hip hop. It's been a wild 50 years. I joined it when I was probably after I did it 30 years, and then I did my 20 with it. How far have you come, and how far has hip hop influenced you in this 50 years journey?
Massively. I guess it's weird. Like, I guess the things that were influencing hip hop were influencing me when I was a little kid, but hip hop hadn't quite reached where I was at.
Yeah.
And then once it did start hitting, I guess I was pretty young when it hit me in the face. I was about 9, 10 years old. Like, you could hear bits, but it hit me in the head, hit me in the chest, and grabbed me and pulled me in. And it's taken me on a journey of self-discovery ever since, to this day.
Till this day.
Yeah.
It's been a great journey, and I mean, what can we say about hip hop? Hip hop has made us explore our emotions,
Yeah.
has taught us culture, has taught us entrepreneurship, and I don't know, how far would you say it's stretched you as a person and as an artist?
Well, it's interesting because I was always originally wanting to be like the people I heard. Although I always had my weird accent the whole time.
Yeah.
But when I listen to the early stuff, even to this day, like listen to KRS-One and people like that, they'd always say, "What is your story? Who are you?" So, and I didn't actually realize the value in the place I grew up and telling the story of where I was.
Yeah.
I thought, so I never talked about it. I never talked about the violence where I lived, any of that. I was always trying to imagine escaping. So I'd write about better things and bigger things in society and karma and so on.
Yeah.
But as it's gone on, I've become more and more back to telling stories.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've always tried to create something that I can give back to hip hop. So whether it was early music to 12-minute techniques, and especially now with Cool Outside, it's like an offering back versus what can I be part of? It's like, no, I've done that. This is what I'm giving you.
Yeah.
So if I ever see KRS-One or Busta Rhymes, I'm like, here, this is for you.
Yeah.
Not do you like it? This is a gift, you know.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully the circle, because hip hop's given so much to me.
Yes, it has to everyone. What has hip hop done for you, fam?
I was introduced to hip hop at a young age through like performing arts and dancing, probably around the age of 5 or 6. One of my close friends' older brothers was like heavily influenced from, I think, spending a bit of time in America. His grandma was American, so yeah, he'd always bring back music from the States, and we'd do little routines, and we'd kind of record and rap on like boom boxes and play it back and record into another boombox, if you know what I mean. And then and so yeah, at the age of like 7 or 8, we were just being super creative and delving into like hip hop. And I think after midnight, there was a radio station that played just hip hop after midnight, and we used to like set the alarms and, you know, have little like sleepover parties and listen to hip hop. And yeah, it was you know, it wasn't a cool thing back then as well. You know, so yeah, it's been a lifestyle with the art form, with like graffiti, like the whole like, just, you know, it's given me a bit of direction and purpose. And yeah.
I think that's what hip hop does.
Yeah.
To everyone who gets influenced into it or gets nurtured into it. Yeah. I mean, where I'm from, we used to be called punks.
Punks?
Yeah, we were, punks. You guys are punks. Like, what do you mean we punks? Yo, punk. Like, what? It's hip hop, baby. You know what I mean?
Hip hop and punk have a lot in common.
I guess.
It is a punk movement.
Yeah.
You know, but I just think, as Rosano said on the Bird Gently documentary, it offers a much deeper offering of what you can do than even punk, which he loved.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's all right to be a punk. He wants to be a regular kid.
It's so crazy that in that time we had another subgenre called kwaito. It's another sound. It's another sound. So when we were doing hip hop, the kwaito heads were like, "Ah, you guys are punks." So it's like, now a confrontational thing, and now you look at how it's changed. Now they dressing up like we are. It's like, oh, okay, so who's the punk now? It's so crazy how hip hop has just transformed everything and every genre. It's just influenced everything. So, Info, I don't know about an ARI. I heard about an ARI award, like you got the first hip hop ARI award in Australia. How did that feel? Or when you got nominated around that time, getting the first award, how can you take me through that? How did that make you feel?
Well, we weren't really, we were just trying to represent. We didn't even realize that at the time ARIA wouldn't have had a hip hop section because we'd been about hip hop for I'd been practicing hip hop. By the time we won it, I'd been practicing hip hop for 12 years.
Okay.
So when we get to the ARIAs and there isn't even a category, I'm like, what?
Whoa.
So we didn't win the first hip hop
Okay.
ARIA. We were the first hip hop group to win an ARIA, but it wasn't the first hip hop ARIA because it didn't exist yet.
It didn't exist. That's a wow.
So we won best independent. Stay independent.
Yeah, for the hip hop heads.
Stay independent.
Underground, baby.
And we had like some good distribution. We had like major distribution so we could get out to everybody because back then you needed to get into certain stores.
Yeah.
But we were independent, and so when we won, we took awards off like a beautiful group called the Waves. And I hate having to bring it up, but they were like the people's music.
Yeah.
But no, hip hop's the people's music.
Yeah.
And that's why we won. And then after that, obviously they created urban category. I thought they'd do like an R&B and hip hop, but they just went urban for 20 years. And they've just changed that. But it was cool. It was more just, we've been doing something dope. We've been representing all the time. Every interview I ever did, at that time, I'd be shouting out. There's groups like Coolism. There's these cats in Adelaide called Hilltop Hoods. You should watch out for them. And I'd always be shouting out.
Yeah.
And so to get there was like proof, and then to see
Recognition.
Yeah, proof.
Yeah.
Proof we were here, and proof we could do it at a level where, it could be played if you really made an effort to not just box yourself into this idea of what rap's meant to be.
Yeah.
And we love blues and funk and soul and all this stuff. So let's make what we want to make. I love melodies. I'm a sing if I want because I love blues. Tell me I can't sing because it's hip hop. Get out of here. And so it was just awesome, and to be there and see all the big wig, Aussie rock legends over there. Like, oh, okay, that's what that is. But it was an insight. I don't think anyone expected any of us to be there, but we were there. And also, at the time, it was pretty wild because Peril, if you don't know Peril, he's a very flamboyant type of character. And back then, he was even more so. Okay. So he's walking, he's razzling and dazzling, and his brothers, quite similar. And so we were definitely loud in every room we went to. But you got to be loud.
Yeah, you got to be.
Loud and proud.
And from that point on, how much did that change your perspective of now your independence or your artistry? Probably getting like interviews now.
That was all happening. We're playing all that stuff, but I just expected that to happen. If you're going to do these things, you do these things.
Yeah.
I was also running track at the time, so I'm like national finalist, medalist, so I'm operating at that level, expecting it. Afterwards, it got a bit weird because 1200 stopped prematurely, which was annoying.
Okay.
1200 stopped, and then I just
This
sort
is
of
after
watched,
how long after that?
only a couple of albums. We just came to a halt.
Okay.
And we expected to keep doing, but we didn't. And then I felt like the industry just went a bit weird, and I felt like it became quite major label-y in the way it thinks. And lately, I feel like there's a movement of people just being like, no, we just want to bust it and do dope stuff, put on our own events. Doesn't matter if it's not charting, doesn't matter if it's not getting played. We're about it, which is exactly what it was. So it's the same, I feel like it's the same movement happening again, but just in a whole new sort of fresh aspect. What's the word? Aspect, objective, whole fresh view.
Direction.
Yeah, and it's been cool. It's wicked
Yeah.
seeing that and getting to still be part of that.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. 2207.
What up? What up?
So we got a show coming up
Yeah.
called the Legends,
The legends, correct.
right? How do you feel being a supporting act to legendary artists like Mantra, like
Oh.
Enfa Jones?
There's some of my
Motley,
favorite. There's some of my favorite. Oz
getting a
artists.
haircut over there.
Yeah, like Motley already knows what's up. I really like to fuck with his music. He's amazing at what he does.
Yeah.
Enfa's been there since I actually remember seeing you guys win the ARIA. Like I remember being young, and I think like the year after did Coolism win,
Yeah, or two after.
and then
Yeah.
Merriweather won as well.
Yeah, and Hoods and
Yeah. So like
I'm.
I've got to also like interact with some of my favorite, and people I've looked up to in the music scene as well. So it's been, but just being considered for this lineup, being a part of it, homie Kudos over there, Mantra, Motley, and for yourself, Breaking Bread, you guys are just next level stuff. So I can't thank you guys enough for considering me for this opportunity.
Big up.
Yeah.
So how would you differentiate the difference between 1200 Techniques and Coolin Sun?
Cool as son.
Yeah. What's different about the two collaborations?
It's different feels, it's different times. Yeah. The energy, for me, the energy of the creativity and excitement,
Yeah.
for me, at that point versus now, is the same.
Okay.
It's the same exciting energy, which is
Yeah.
you want. I've done projects in between, and the energy was exciting too. But 1200s was very blues funk, sort of driven hip hop, whereas Cool Out Sun's very Afro percussive driven. And I'm a way better MC now
Yeah.
than I was
Matured.
then. I was a good songwriter then, but I'm a way better MC now. I was good then. My songwriting was good, but if we were to come toe to toe and rap at each other, I got way
Two
more
different-
bars than the young version of me. But the young version was dope. He was a lovely kid, and he loved people and just wanted to see people lift up. So
Yeah, that's dope. How do you think the community has changed of hip hop from back then to now? Do you think it's improved? And if it has, especially after the COVID era, how would you compare the two?
Well, I think back then, as Enfa mentioned earlier, music kind of went through this weird stage with like The Voice and X Factor and all this stuff just kind of took away from what recording artists were doing because we didn't have that airtime, so we weren't as valuable as some of these people that were getting TV. So there wasn't all of a sudden the kind of industry just went from being really like progressive and a bit of money in it to all being directed at these people that were getting TV time. So it was a little bit heartbreaking, kind of 2006 to 2009, seeing that kind of happen and occur. But like we had these really organic open mics, we had these really organic gigs and groups from back in the day. My homies from the Western Suburbs, Iron Project, shout out to them. We did a lot of cool gigs. We did a lot of cool like house party type things. Socials have really changed the game. If you ain't on socials, if you ain't working socials, if it ain't looking good and clean, people are kind of thinking it's basically a business card, Instagram, stuff like that. So yeah, I think MySpace was out back then.
Yeah, MySpace used to run shit.
Yeah, so it was MySpace back then, and now we're like, there's like this whole different platform where like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, it's so yeah, definitely the community's changed. I feel like you can get a living off some of these platforms if you really work it, which is cool. But it's a bit of a juggling act. You got to know where to invest your time and money, and how what way to go and what way is working for you. It's a slippery slope at the moment. So yeah, we're all just learning, and hopefully we learn together. And yeah, super interesting.
Back then, when you were starting, and the whole media game was not so so changed. Like technology was not so strong. There was MySpace.
It's crazy how fast it's moved.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, radio was like prime. That's where you used to get your attention at, and now things have changed. How do you think that has affected music back and forth?
It's awesome and it's not awesome. Everything has a pro and con to it.
Yeah,
You know, so I was listening to someone talk about like back in the 70s and 80s, you know, there would be A&Rs in every venue every weekend trying to find artists. They don't do that now. They just sit and go, what's your views?
yeah,
And are those views even real? And can that artist then also translate live? Or they don't have views, but they're dope. So there is opportunities for the sort of older model, like you'll see, like especially in like punk and metal and rock, like you'll get a group like say Amel and the Sniffers, who've come up with the right sort of care and management and opportunities as well and a good show. But at the same time, social media can help them.
yeah.
Then you've got artists that are blowing up because they've just got TV and help, but they suck live and they got no vibe. So it's a real thing of in between, like what can you do? The thing that's hard is everyone can do everything. So the value, or everyone has to do everything. So the value of things that people can do has dropped. But what we can do is more. So we expect to do more, but we want help, but we can't afford the help. But then if you want the help, you want the help for $10.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you know, the industry is getting paid the whole time.
You know,
right?
all
Am I
the
wrong?
time.
Am I right?
We
So,
seem to be working harder and getting paid less.
Yeah.
Every year. We just work harder and get paid less.
but isn't that the plan of the man? You know what I mean?
Yeah, straight up. It's crazy.
So-
It's crazy.
I think those aspects, but I think at the end of the day, I always break it down like this. I spend a bit of time on music and I spend some money on music. I've managed to figure out how to make some money back from music. But I could love golf. And I could spend time and money on golf without planning to go professional. I still spend time and money, right? So if music gives me a cathartic healing and enjoyment,
Yeah,
and it gives me a reason and a right to be able to go out and have a drink for
yeah,
free,
yeah.
then I'm gonna do my music because it makes me feel good. I might not be making crazy loot, but I'm enjoying my life.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we're just going, there's all those people playing golf who slice every time, they're still having a good time, right?
Yeah,
And no one's telling them off.
yeah.
So
Yeah, totally.
maybe it's just because they're business people who have mad, fat back pockets. And if we had fatter back pockets, maybe it'd be different.
Things would be different.
But I don't know. I see it all the same. I see it all the same. It's creativity and it's art, man.
That's a great analogy of like investing in something that you enjoy rather than looking for a reward through it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think the outcome is the interactions, getting to meet amazing people,
Correct.
hopefully.
So where do you draw inspiration for your music?
I listen to a lot of records. I like to go to like markets and flick through tubs and try to buy stuff that I haven't got in my collection or I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I look at the back of records to see if they're like a compilation, like if you've got different distribution or different record labels that have originally released them. So like I'm trying, inspiration usually starts at a sample. And then I start drumming something out and then words just start happening. Like
You create your own beats?
I make every beat.
Okay.
There's only one beat I haven't made, and that was by a homie called Pablo, who is amazing. Iron Projects as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I make all my own beats. That's where the inspiration comes from. When I'm making them, I'm hearing stuff, or I'm just playing with it, and then something stupid happens, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds like a track.
That's it. And then we go from there. So, yeah, I suppose the music inspires me first, hearing that creativity that's on wax and then saying, oh, how can I chop that up? Or how can I mess with that? And then, but I mean, in terms of inspiration, my family, my dad was a drummer, my grandfather was a trumpet player.
Okay.
Uncle was is a guitarist. So yeah,
So you're from a musical family?
hell yeah. My great grandfather was a conductor and a trumpet player as well. So it runs through the blood.
Have you ever thought about making music with your fam?
I have
Bridging the
tried
gap.
to.
Yeah.
It was something I was talking about for the last 10 years. And I recorded a few songs with my grandfather.
That's dope.
But his friend didn't show up one day and he's bringing his like Unka Chunka organ,
Okay.
and they were going to do some stuff. So he didn't show up, so I ended up just looping a D'Angelo intro. I think it was for When We Get By or something like that. D'Angelo track.
Yeah,
He
that's
wanted
my
me to,
favorite joint.
yeah, he wanted me to drop the pitch because his trumpet wasn't in the right key, and so he's like just freestyling over that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a couple tracks we did together, and I think he's on one of my soul songs. Feet Will Follow.
Yeah.
Some bump, 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 and then just a little bit of
That's
trumpet
dope,
stuff.
man.
But I really pushed for my uncle and my dad and my grandfather and us to do something, but it was always like Easter, Christmas times, and people just thought it was like, yeah, one day, and now it's too late. So that's one of the things I wish we had done.
You can't catch family during festive
festive
celebrate.
season.
The people are just drunk, bro. Like,
Drunk,
we're
drunk.
gonna do it.
Drunk.
10 years
and full.
later, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's playing with the presents they just got and shit, so they're not
Yeah.
interested in talking about getting in the studio. Yeah.
That's dope.
End of
that's
the year.
dope. Fam, Deadly Fresh. Tell me a bit about Deadly Fresh.
Deadly Fresh was my first crew with my big brother, Kabar. Everything I am and my biggest inspiration in hip hop's my brother. Kabar,
Okay.
my older brother.
This is your older brother.
Yeah, my older brother. And so he had a crew. I was part of the crew. I was like the little bro with the afro.
Yeah.
Who was the best MC. And we used to catch a bus from the end of the bus line to the train, catch a train all the way to the city in Perth, catch another train out to Beckenham, and then walk through this dodgy neighborhood to our boy Tushai's house. Tushai had all the equipment. So we started making tunes. And I still have the recording. One day I'll unveil it of this first song I recorded when I was 10.
Yeah.
It was all about girls.
You still remember the lyrics?
I remember some of it, yeah. I remember some of it. That song was cool. And then, but Deadly Fresh is where I started getting sort of idea and identity. And my brother was like, these are choruses, this should be a verse. And we started figuring out the song maps. And
You got a graph crew, or was it just like crew?
just crew would there was like a kid who could beatbox, there was a couple of dudes who could dance.
Yeah, dope.
There was a
That's what it's
DJ, there was a couple of us MCs, and there was one kid who was good at stealing stuff. And so we always had things.
Yeah.
He was the lead man.
And he loved Onyx. I remember that guy loved Onyx.
Oh,
One of
man.
the first records I bought.
Yeah, man. So,
Onyx gets you buck wild, though. Like, if you're thinking of crime, Onyx and MOP. Those are the two guys you listen to before you start shit.
yeah, man. But yeah, Deadly Fresh to Infinity, man. It's, I'm still friends with a bunch of that crew.
That's dope.
Yeah, man, that's where it started.
So out of the three crews that we've mentioned here, could you say, do you have any favorite songs that you've created with all three crews that you would
With the
drop?
first crew, yeah, it would be the song we did, Frustration, about the girls. That was dope. I
Frustration.
still love that song. The projects I did with my brother, we had some really good songs. There's one in particular, I forget its name. Can't remember that one. 1200 Techniques, favorite song. It's probably Karma, isn't it? Or Hard as Hell, because my brother's on that, Rusiel's on that, and we're just like, the whole song.
Where you at?
Where You're At's dope. Where You're At was dope. Yeah, because that's a whole different feel. It's like solo projects, probably a song called Confidence I did with my boy Sensible J.
Okay.
And Cause and Effect I did with D-Bridge. And then Cool Out Sun, favorite song, it's hard. But I have to go with Firefall because it's like in a 5/4 rhythm. It's super dynamic. And the new album, we'll see. It's almost done.
Right.
Yeah.
So when would you say that would be dropping?
Sensible J and I have been busy mixing. We're really close. We've got some great guests. We'll start rolling out the first song in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And then we'll do something in late Jan, Feb. Hopefully drop an album around April, May.
Dope.
Like that.
Looking
What are we
forward to
gonna
that.
be? What are we going to be hearing on the night from you? Is it like surprise or
A bit of a surprise. I might take you on a bit of a journey.
Cool. I can't wait.
Bit of a journey. I'll do a set just for you.
I can't wait. But yeah, I remember seeing you come on after Jackson. It was like a
Yeah, right.
container club.
Yeah.
And so
Good
most everyone went to smoke and you just destroyed the set. It was so
Thanks.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan, homie.
Legends coming to you.
That's
Yeah.
the legend himself.
So the 24th is coming up.
Correct.
How do you feel about that? What can we expect from 2207 on that day?
Look, moments like this in life definitely not lost on me. probably one of the biggest shows of my career. Be definitely one of my most favorite lineups of my career.
Yeah.
You know, so like, again, this is just I'm gonna leave it all on that stage. I'm gonna have nothing left in the tank when I step off there.
Dope.
If you guys don't show up, you're gonna miss out because everyone on this bill is just fire. I'm gonna try to be at that level as well.
Dope. Anything we can expect? Any surprises? Any?
Just vibes, man. Vibes upon vibes is what I have. So
yeah.
we're all gonna do it. Motley's gonna bring it. Mantra,
That's what's
kudos, and we got Mishap in the house. It's gonna be great.
Oh,
It's gonna
Mishap.
be great. It's gonna be dope.
Shout out to Miss
And
Hap.
I'm gonna be looking fresh in my +2s, you know.
+2.
Steve's
Shout out
going
to
on.
+2.
You know,
Sponsoring the gig.
I'll be looking good.
Yeah, looking fresh.
So, wait, we're attributing you to like the first. You guys started like you guys are the reason we got a hip hop urban category at the REs, yeah.
Supposedly.
And you're one of the first people to document this hip hop movement as well for Australia, like properly as well.
Yeah. So
What more can we say? Legend right here.
gonna be
Can't
dope.
put it any other way.
hey man, can't do it without everybody making what they make. So we're all a family.
Yeah.
And we all breaking bread.
It's breaking bread. We out chilling with the legends. Holla at us. See you on the 24th. If you're not there, you're gonna hear about it next year. And it's gonna be all cries on you, baby. Hit us up. Peace. That's what's up. Nah, big up.